What I'm trying to say is over the last couple of years or so, we've all been looking at Vrabel, questioning what the hell is going on the defensive side of the ball. But we never went so far as to call them fraudulent. So I think that's a bit excessive, if I might dare say so, Bart Scott. I must admit.
Is it too harsh?
I think it's a little bit too harsh. I think it's a little bit too harsh. Because here's the reality of the situation. This team goes as your offense takes you mainly Derrick Henry, who rushed for 2,027 yards last year, averaged 5.4 yards a carry. You acquire Julio Jones in the offseason. They got to get that together because when Vrabel went off on them the other day, guys, I'm here to tell you, that's based off of frustration in training camp in the preseason. That wasn't based on the one mistake during the game. You don't go off on a guy of that caliber that you just acquired in the offseason with his Hall of Fame credentials and just go off on him like that because he made one stupid play. You don't call him out in a press conference like that. You did that because you're having a problem with him because you don't think he's buying into what you're selling and what your team is selling.
He's tired of stock blocking.
So they got to fix that. But you're talking about Julio Jones with an A.J. Brown, all right, with Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill, say what we want about him, did complete 65% of his passes last year, did throw for 3,800 yards, had 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. We looked at that team, and we understood they lost to Baltimore in the playoffs. They ain't the creme de la creme. They ain't elite. We looked at them in the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago. We knew they weren't going to beat Kansas City. We didn't even expect them to be there. I'm not saying they're fraudulent. I'm saying they are what we've always thought they are. They're good enough to win their division. They're good enough to get to the postseason. But when you look at their personnel, they ain't gone but so far. That's what you expect when you see the Tennessee Titans. That's what I expect this year, despite what I saw against them from them against Arizona this past weekend.
In-game situations can't be analyzed because you're doing it off of instinct. And you're doing things throughout the course of a game. If you're a player, if you're a coach, where the situation is dictating how you respond or what you're trying to implement and do. I'm with you on the Titans, man. Like from a defensive standpoint, I've just seen it too many times. It's not that they haven't played good defense in spurts. I've seen too much inconsistency in them playing at a high enough level defensively for them to be Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, we see the names and we understand, but you know, Cleveland went out week 1 and confirmed what we thought, even in a loss. They confirmed what we thought about who they were as a football team. The Tennessee Titans were nothing in the image of what we thought they would be in that first game. And Kyler Murray was phenomenal. Arizona was phenomenal. That defense is better. The Arizona Cardinals are Super Bowl contenders. Like that, and in that division, that's 4 really good teams. But on these Bills, you ain't about to tell me they frauds, Bart. Because I watched that game, and yes, Josh Allen had a bad day, and he didn't want to be patient. But I also saw him miss a throw that I don't think he's going to miss to a wide-open Emmanuel Sanders for a score. I also saw a team that didn't go enough into the run game to soften the Pittsburgh Steelers up and sitting back there in zone coverage, just keeping everybody's eyes back. I think this was more about the Buffalo Bills in week 1. I think this was more about the Buffalo Bills thinking that they could roll out and do the same things they had been doing all season long last year.
Okay.
I don't think this is a fall off from them. And look, this Steelers team and this defense is going to be top 3 in the league. This defense that they played week 1, and boy, you know this from our time playing. Defenses are always ahead of offenses in the first week of the season. Majority of the time, because these guys are adjusting to in-game situations, new personnel, and all of those type of things. I still got the Bills. Like, I think the Bills are going to be an AFC team that somebody is going to have to get past in order to get to the Super Bowl.
Let me throw this to you and Bart here, because y'all played. Y'all would know. Yeah. 2 things. Number 1, you talked about that defensive coordinator, and you got a new voice. And you talk about you can't analyze instincts. You can't analyze players because they're acting instinctually. Let me tell you why I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong because of what y'all teach us as players. Y'all talk to us about the importance of coaching. Y'all talk to us about the importance, not just game planning, but in-game coaching. I understand instincts come with it. Please don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is the emphasis on the importance of coaching and how that usurps, quote-unquote, instincts per se, comes from what players tell us. That's why I use the phrase all the time, I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. I just listen to those who are. I got that from y'all.
Well, go ahead, Bart, and then I'll respond to Stephen A.
Well, when you talk about, you meant to say Arthur Smith, offensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. What happens, you can have the book, but that don't mean you know how to use it the right way. You don't understand the philosophy, the when, the why, the what. And, you know, when you have to do that, you have to make judgment calls. It's not based on past experiences. It's based on what you're seeing for today, what the philosophy of the day is. When you think about Todd Downing, who's replacing Arthur Smith, he has a lot of pressure because this offense had an identity. Now he's trying to mix in the identity of Julio Jones and trying to make him happy as well. So you're trying to find, like we saw this happen a little bit with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady last year when they no risky, no biscuit. That's never been who Tom was. So they had to find a healthy marriage. That's what they're trying to find. So now they have an identity crisis in the midst of a beginning of a season when they have high expectations. And when I talk about the Buffalo Bills being a fraud, I just talk about we see them in the light of being a Super Bowl contender. I don't know with what I saw week 1. And listen, maybe Josh Allen's going to fix it. But listen, he's been inconsistent. He's supposed to fix that last year. He can't throw the ball 51 times and only have 30 completions.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.